In this session, we're going to create a really cool melodic bass and lead combo sequence for the Dreadbox Typhon. And I've got the Fader Fox PC4 again. So pot 2 will adjust the mod wheel for the Typhon so that we can use this as a performance macro. So let's just have a listen to this. What's also nice about this preset is that I'm able to manipulate some of the other stuff under the hood, so like the attack. Obviously we've got the cutoff and filter time, resonance, make it more acidic. Also what I really like about this preset is coming down to the triangle second oscillator, which is a 7th. When I've got it here, we've got almost a chord playing, so it's 2 notes. We've basically got the root note and then we've got 7 notes above and an octave above for the second oscillator. But if we come to this, we just play the second oscillator and it's like it goes up 7 notes. And it'd be nice for like a build before dropping back. So yeah, really like this patch. What I did was I come up with the sequence first in Ableton because it's a 32 note sequence, and when you're working with melodic structures like this, it's really hard to get a good sequence going fast on this sequencer. So if I know it's going to be a long sequence and a melodic sequence, I like to kind of plan it out in Ableton first, and then once I bring it into the sequencer, I can change a few things. I remember that I changed a few of the octaves to make it sound nicer on the Typhon. So what we're going to do is we are going to initialize the patch, and we're going to start with a sequence. So I'm going to go over to the sequencer, and I am going to change the division to 16ths. I'm going to go for a full 32 steps. Swing is optional. Obviously, when you use this preset and you link it with some drums, some like Melodic Techno drums maybe, you can try adjusting the swing to fit with the groove, but we're going to leave it at 50 for now. So let's go into the main part of the sequencer. So it's quite a big sequence. It might take me a long time to do. I might even speed this bit up of the video. We'll see how I get on. Because you can always download this preset and take a look at it as well. So what I'm going to do is just go through the steps. So step 1, maybe I'll play this as I'm doing it as well. Just turn it down a little bit. Actually, we'll turn it off for now until I've done the first few notes. So step 1, we've got octave 2 and then C, and then we're going to go for 95 on the gate. And then step 2, we have got a rest. Step 3. We've got a rest again. Step 4, we're going to go for 2 octaves up. And we're going to go for a C with quite a long gate again, maybe around 95. There we go. So we've done it. We got there in the end. Right, let's come out of the sequencer now and just go to the set page. Because the next thing that I want to do is I want to mess around with the glide. So I like that, but I don't want it on all the time. So let's hit legato. So you won't hear any slides now. So let's set this to around 30 again. Go into the sequencer, and then some of the steps, what we're going to do is we're going to make them into ties. So that basically overlaps the note, and then we get that nice glide coming through. It gives it that kind of like acidy feel. So what I'm going to do is just figure out which ones it was that I put the ties on, and we'll listen to them in real time. So the first one is 13. Let's have a listen out for that. You heard it there, that bit kind of like glided through. But the main part of the glides, most of the glides are after 24. So this one's a tie. There we go. That's nice. And then we've got 29. And we've got 31 and 32. There we go. Just kind of accentuates those fills. And you'll also notice when I bring down the cutoff, those glides, they don't reset the envelope, which I kind of like, because you get these stabby notes and then some of them glide. And they're quite soft as well, and it's got that kind of like slow acid vibe. I like that. It's not an acid sequence at all, but I really just like that little essence of acid that comes in. So the next thing that we're going to look at is we're going to look at the filter and all of these settings on here, and we're going to set the envelopes as well. So let's... Around there's quite nice, but let's go into the settings page again and just bring that track amount up. So remember what we said about track, it makes the higher notes more open on the filter. So I don't want to go too high with that. That's really nice right there. And then the next thing we're going to look at is the oscillator. So I'm going to use 2. There we go. There's single oscillator, 2 oscillators, but this is at a 5th or a 7th, whichever way you want to call it. So it's 7 semitones up. Obviously it's hard to tell because they're not marked, so what you've got to do is just adjust it until it sounds right, basically. It's around there. That's nice, that's really nice, that. So let's put these in the middle position, and then let's set these. So with the amp, we're going to go for, yeah, full 100% on the sustain. And let's just increase that release a little bit. The next thing I want to look at is the filter. So we can make it nice and snappy if we wanted to, or we can open it up. Just bring that release up to 20 to match the amp. And let's go for quite snappy actually, because we're going to open that up with a mod wheel later on. So yeah, sustain at 0, and then we've got that attack that we could use as a performance tool if we wanted to. Unfortunately, I can't assign that to the mod wheel, so I would have loved to have done that. Let's come out of that now, and next we are going to take a look at the effects, I think. So let's go to effects 1, and for this we're actually going to go for the S-curve. That's a bit too much for the sound that we're going for, so I'm going to bring the gain down. Around there's quite nice. Let's just bring that level down a bit, and then we're going to blend it. That's a really nice sweet spot there. Let's go to effects 2 now, and then for this one I'm going to make use of the shifter. So with the shifter we're going to bring up the semitones so they're an octave higher. Let's start to bring this in now. So we're just going to play around with the settings a little bit. So that's like a short feedback, and then a long feedback will give you that kind of granular effect. But what we're going to go for is this kind of like octave higher delay type effect. Let's bring that damp down a bit as well, so we can like soften it, or we can make it brighter. I want to make it quite moody, so I'm going to bring the damp down. Let's go for 14 on the mix. The next one we're going to go for is, when I first made this preset, I loved the idea of having like a really lush reverb, but then I thought actually I want to make use of the cloud, because I really like the cloud. Let's turn the shifter down for now while we focus on the cloud. What you could do, and what I'd probably do if I was going to make this into a track, is add reverb after the Typhon using either some sort of guitar pedal, or maybe the reverb in the Digitact, or something like Valhalla vintage reverb in Ableton. So I kind of wish there was another effect slot so I could add like a reverb after effects 3. That'd be great. I'm pretty greedy with stuff like that. I always want more, but I know that it's DSP, it's down to that. You can't have too much going on in these tiny boxes. Are you enjoying this Dreadbox Typhon tutorial? Well, if so, you can update your skills even further by joining the Dreadbox Typhon Mastery Course. The link is in the video description below, and once you join that, you'll get access to all of the modules. We'll be going through all of the parameters on the Typhon, all of the under-hood tricks and tips, how to connect the Typhon up with external devices and DAWs, and I'll also go through some preset builds from the ground up as well. Also, there is a Discord community, and once you join that, you can share your work on there, and we'll all be on there giving each other feedback and helping each other out. So hopefully I'll see you on the course, and I hope to see you in that Discord community as well. Right, so with this, what we're going to do now is just maybe bring the grain up to have a listen. Sorry, the mix. So we could go for 1 grain would sound like that. Bring it up to kind of make it thicker with more grains, or we can reverse it so it's reversed. I'm going to go for the full 8 grains, but bring the size up. So around there. And then we're going to just bring the feedback a little bit. That's perfect just there, right? So what I'm going to do is just add a little bit of that in. Maybe a little bit more. Go to the shift there, bring that back in again. Not too much on the shift there. That's perfect right there. So the next thing that we're going to look at is the M1 modulator. And for this, what I want to do is set it up to be a step sequencer with 32 steps. So we're back here again. We're going to do some sequencing. We're going to do 32 steps of sequencing. This time it's not as bad because we're just adjusting the level knob, so it's absolutely fine. It won't take me too long. I'm going to go into the menu and we are going to go to sync options. So M1, we're going to change the sync option from free to BPM. So it's in time and it's in sync with the sequencer. So these run alongside each other as 2 sequencers. If you don't do that, then this sequence that we're making is going to be different. Oh, calm down a minute. It's going to be different every single time. So yeah, what I'm going to do then is go to the custom target slot 1 destination, because the reason why I'm using that is the mod wheel. I want to increase the depth level of this with the mod wheel later on. If I use, say, the cutoff on here, I can't adjust that with a mod wheel. So if you want to use a mod wheel, go to the custom target slots, hold down this button, and that will take me to the option to change it. So we're going to go for LP cut. Let's just see if this works. Yep, that's working. So I'm going to bring this up quite a lot to start with, and then I'm going to go to the first steps and just reset them, because by default they always have some sort of level to them. And then what I'm going to do is play this sequence while I'm adjusting these different steps. And I'll quickly explain the idea behind this before my thinking, the reason why I wanted to include a modulator with a step sequencer to open and close the cutoff is if you go into the settings page or the extra settings there, I really like what happens when you bring up the track amount. So listen to this. So what we're doing there is the higher notes are opening up the cutoff a little bit more, but we still get the deepness of the low notes. And I just really liked that effect. So what I tried to do is mimic it with a step sequencer, and I ended up coming up with a much better kind of groove by adjusting the steps individually. So what I'm going to do is leave that at like 57 for now. Hit play, and then I'm just going to adjust the step levels for each one as we go. So you'll hear the first note. That first note opens up a little bit more than the others. So because that's like a rest straight after that, what I want to do is make sure the rest of these up to 4 are also the same value as well. There we go. So you can hear it start to come alive now. It's so fiddly using this. these little sliders. I like it, you know, I love the way that it's like really compact in a small little box, but it can be quite fiddly, especially if you've got sausage fingers. I'm sure most of you have guessed I'm not doing this by memory. I've got a piece of paper in front of me and I'm going through the sequence. There's no way I could memorize this. I could do it, you know, off the cuff and just kind of do it as a go and experiment, but I really liked the outcome of the way that I had it set up. It took me quite a while to get it, but it just works so well. So we're nearly there, 18, so these next ones are all 22-ish. Doesn't have to be bang on. That's right, 12 more to go. It's like watching paint dry. Almost there. Right, 4 more to go, and then I'm done. 29, what we on? So 50-ish. There we go. Right, sounds cool. Obviously, we've got different depth amounts as we adjust the level. So if you might have guessed, the next goal is to adjust the mod wheel settings. So we're going to hit the encoder, we're going to go to mod wheel, and the first one that we're going to adjust is M1 custom 1 level, which is the one we've just been doing. Turn up the mod wheel, find a maximum sweet spot for it. I'd say, yeah, around 22. And then for the CV, so this is quite cool. So the pitch of oscillator 1 and oscillator 2, what I'm going to do is just detune them a little bit. So when this comes open, it gets a little bit more intense. The oscillator's detune, so let's do that next. So I'm going to hit play again. Do one way and one the other way, so a minus and a plus. The next one is for the cutoff. So we're going to do resonance actually next. Make it a bit more acidic. And then we've got filter envelope time, so it's that one there. So we're going to open up this a little bit more as well when we open up the mod wheel. So you can hear it having a bit more energy and it opens up. The next one is distortion, so we've got effects, parameter 1. So we're going to add some more distortion as we open it up. And also, it's not that one. Let me go back. And the mix as well, let's just add a little bit of mix in there. Increase the volume of the distortion. And then we've also got effects 2. So we're going to adjust parameter. Let me just come out with this a sec, see which one it is again. Effects 2, we're going to do parameter 4, which is the feedback. So let's just hit play. Let's also do the mix as well, bring it up a little bit. I think that's pretty much it for the mod wheels. Let's just test it now. So you can hear the distortion opening up, the filter envelope time opening up, the modulation of the filter cutoff opening up, resonance, effects 2, mix and feedback as well. Just off one knob, so it's, you know, if I was doing that on the synth it would take a lot. In fact, I'll show you how that would work. So if I was going to do it on the synth it would kind of go like this. So I would you have to do it little bit by bit. Obviously I'm touching a few extra things there that are not part of it. But yeah, as you can see, it's a lot more fiddly. It takes a lot more to work it out. And you can fuck it up really easy. So it's so much easier just to set up your performance macros beforehand for each preset. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that one. I really enjoyed that sequence. I love the way it sounds. I love the effects on it as well. I think it's a really nice little sequence, and you can use that as a starting point if you want to make a sequence from that and manipulate it. Like I said before, some really nice sweet spots in there with the different oscillators. I love the square. You can make it a lot more acidy. Really nice sweet spot there as well. You can even make it more short and snappy. Don't be afraid to mess with it and have fun with it. So yeah, that's it for that one. We're going to look at another preset now.